What's up guys, Sand Legend here, back again with another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and in today's video we are going to be going over the upcoming KIZUNA clash versus the Cat Viper and Dog Storm. So for this KIZUNA clash we're going to go over the usual, free to play and pay to win teams, just like normal, but I am going to make a separate video where I go over some more teams, just because of the fact that this KIZUNA clash is probably one of the harder 10-star difficulty KIZUNA clashes we've gotten so far. A lot of these gimmicks are really frustrating to get around, and I can understand people not being able to build some of these teams on here. So I will try to make a separate video where I go over some other teams you can build, some more like accessible teams, so somewhere in the middle between free to play and pure pay to win, so you can have a variety of teams to use in this KIZUNA clash. Without any further ado, let's get started. So starting off looking at the quick variation of the KIZUNA clash, we have Driven, Striker, and Slasher characters getting the cooldown this time around, and as you can see on stage 2, we have to deal with increased damage taken for 7 turns, which is actually pretty annoying, because as you can see, when you defeat the boss, he actually hits you with 80,000 damage. So with increased damage taken, that obviously goes up for way past 80,000. So most teams, in fact, all teams probably might die if you aren't able to mitigate some of that damage, but it'll also make tap timing easier for you for the next turn. So, I mean, you may die, but at least you can hit perfects, right? But as you can see here, they also have gimmicks if you don't, if you stall for 1 turn. So if you stall 1 turn at all, you get hit with 8 turns of Despair and Bind for your captains, and then they'll just leave. They won't actually hit you with the death damage at all. But obviously we don't want to deal with the Despair or the Bind at all, so we have to try to tank that damage in some way, shape, or form. Now when we get to the boss battle, he is going to be immune to everything except for defense down, so you can apply defense down conditional boosts, which is really good. Now he'll also change your slots that aren't decks into super block slots, which is really annoying. Slot change impossible locks are going to be on your characters too for 1 perfect hit, and they'll also gain a 5-turn damage threshold, which is what that is. Now when you get to the plus level 31 bosses or whatever, he'll then change all slots in the super block, which is also really annoying. He'll give you special reverse for 1 turn, lock your specials for till you hit a good hit, and then he'll put up 5 turns of defense up, which all that is really annoying to deal with. Now the main issue with this variation is that we have to deal with death damage, and that's probably the biggest thing about this variation here, is that the death damage is too significant to ignore. So we have to try to build our teams in a way to be able to have effects that can tank that damage for us. So for this free-to-play team here, we have the Super Tandem Kid and Treasure Mom Big Mom team. So the way this team works is that the Kid is here to actually help us get around both the special reverse and the slot changing mechanic. So the way he's going to be used here is that we can use his special on stage 2. We get an attack boost from his special, and we also get the slot chain impossibles, slot changing impossible things on our crew for all our driven characters, and we don't actually have to hit any perfects at all to beat the stage. So we can actually keep those tandem slots that are counted as matching under his captain ability for the next turn. And like I say, he does help with special reverse because his super class special does reduce characters' cooldowns by 1 for driven and striker characters. And since we do have the Arena Kamazo on our crew, which does count as killer, it does proc the super class special of the Kid. So this is a way for us to get around the slot changing and the special reverse. Now the Big Mom is here to help us get rid of the threshold, which is why she's the captain in the first place. She's a really good captain, but she also gets rid of the threshold and gives us a chain lock too, which is really good. Now the Blackbeard is here to help us get around the defense up by reducing the enemy's defense to 0, and then also giving us a conditional boost on top of that. He's really good for this variation here, especially since he's Dex. He's just really good for this fight. Now the Kaido here, this Kaido is the event quick Kaido. I forget which event he came out with, but he's a really good character. He will give your driven characters a 2.5 attack boost, which is really good. Now, as you can see, the only thing we don't have on here is a color fading boost, but in all honesty, you don't really need one. we have the Kamazo here. I forgot to talk about him. He's just here for an orb boost. Now, since the way he works, if you don't have a type slot on your captain, you get a higher orb boost, which is like a 2.25 orb boost. So if we keep the tandem slot, we obviously will get the higher orb boost here, which is why the Kamazo here. Now, everyone else here is basically to facilitate the final stage, but the stage 2 abilities that we're going to be using to try to tank this damage right here is all having to do with this PvP Wapple unit here. Now, if you don't know what this unit does, basically what he does is he actually does reduce the increased damage taken by all turns, because he does have the the Limerick ability to reduce about 3 turns, and his special reduces the rest by 4 turns, so he can reduce all turns of it. And his special provides a damage threshold. So hopefully the damage threshold is enough to be able to tank the 80,000 damage, since that's what we will be getting, the raw 80,000. So hopefully his threshold is able to actually tank that hit for us, so we don't die on that stage. That's why that Wapple is here. We're also using the Doflamingo ship because they're all driven. So this team should work out really well. Hopefully it does, but we'll see when we actually get into the KIZUNA Clash itself. Now, looking at the pay to win side, now I know this team looks a little bit weird, and I admit this is a really weirdly put together team, but I see no reason why it shouldn't work. So the way this team works is that we have Uta. Now we all know what Uta does. She provides the attack and orb boost for all 3 stages, so we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. The reason Kid is our captain is so that we can access the super type for our Dex characters, and he also has the ability to remove threshold by 7 turns with his special ability, which is really good. Now we have the Hiyori here. The Hiyori is going to help us by keeping waddle slots for basically the entire run. So the way she works is that for one, she does provide waddle slots when you start the quest, and then on stage 2 we can use her special to give us a full board of waddle slots once again, and she herself will actually lock those slots for us so that we can actually keep them for the boss stage, which will get around the slot changing mechanics of the boss stage. Now I forgot to mention this too, Uta's also here because she does provide special reverse production, so she also will get rid of the special reverse that happens when you get to those higher levels. So just quick little side note on there. Now we have the Onami here. This is the 6+ Onami. She is here to give us the defense style conditional boost and the color affinity boost for the dominant color on the team, which is going to be Dex here. So we actually get a 1.75 color affinity boost from her special for Dex characters, and we also get the defense style conditional boost, which is really good. Now the Crocodile is here to give us chain boundary, and that's literally all he's there for. That's just it. Now the Alvida is in the same boat as the Wapple. The Alvida is able to reduce damage and can also reduce some turns of the increased damage taken on stage 2. Now the way that this team's gonna have to be properly run to make this work is that Alvida gets rid of 5 turns of it with her special, but her Limerick abilities do not get rid of any of it at all. The Kid's Limerick abilities, though, will actually get rid of the rest of the increased damage taken for us, because if you have him at max, he will get rid of 3 turns of it, and with the Alvida, with the 5 turns, it's 8 turns in total, so we'll be able to get rid of all turns of it, and then she herself will be able to provide a damage reduction. I think it's like 80%, so that should be able to tank like most of the damage. I think it's like 60 something damage that she'll be able to tank. So we should be only taking like 1,600, I want to say. I hope my math is right there, and I hope that actually works in the KIZUNA Clash. But this is how the team comp is going to be. We have attack and orb boost from Uta. We have the super class of Uta for our cerebral characters, which I think the Alvida is also cerebral. I think she's driven striker. I have no idea, but I know the Croc and the what's her name, Hiyori, is cerebral, so that's really good. We have the Dex super typing with Kid and damage threshold removal. We have the conditional and color affinity boost from Nami and the chain battery from the Croc. We should be doing a lot of damage with this team here. Moving on to the strength variation, which is a really funky variation, and you'll see why in a minute. Now, strength, dex, and quick get the cooldown here, so that's mostly what a team's gonna be made of. Now, on stage 2, we actually get hit with type and recovery slots being changed into unfavorable slots. So it doesn't make those slots unfavorable, it just changes them into badly matching slots, which is kind of annoying. We also get hit with special reverse again for 1 turn. And our specials also get locked for 1 good hit, which is really annoying. Now we also get hit with the chain down debuff for 3 turns, and also the attack down below a 2.5 chain for 1 turn. Now the weird thing about this stage is that when you hit stage, when you actually install the stage, you actually get hit with attack down for 5 turns and paralysis for 5 turns. Now the thing is that you can actually just stall the turn and actually just deal with those effects on the later stage, just because of the fact we have units like Sugar. Now, the reason I say we have units like Sugar is because Sugar, with her Toy Bear mechanic, she will be able to just ignore the paralysis that happens here. On top of the fact that, as you can see, we do have Uta on the team, which it does remove the paralysis anyway. But the point is, if you have Sugar, then you don't have to worry about that at all. So you can actually just stall the you can actually just stall the turn here. Now, when we get to the boss stage, the immunity is going to be the same except for defense down. We have a barrier to deal with, which is why I suggested Sugar here. We have special bind for 5 turns, another attack down below a 3.0 chain this time around, 5 turns. And we also have to deal with an interrupt. If you deal a % damage special, they actually just remove the barriers, which is actually pretty weird. So, I mean, if you have damage dealing specials that do like a health cut, then you can just get rid of the barrier and you'll be home free basically. Now, when you get to the boss changing mechanics, the barrier goes up by 1 extra hit and also defense up again for 5 turns, which is actually perfect. I think throughout all of the bosses here, they all have defense up for some reason. Now, the way we're going to be getting around this free-to-play wise is, like I said, Sugar and 5+ Quick Uta, because they both can actually provide you with the effects that you probably wouldn't normally find free-to-play. So, like I said, Sugar provides the Toy Bear mechanic, which gets around paralysis and goes through barriers, and he has the ability to, increase the chain multiplier with the Toy Bear mechanic and everything. So I think it goes up by like +8. Obviously, you get chained down for 3 turns, so that does go into the final stage, which kind of sucks. But we do have effects that will give us other chain boosts too. Now we have the Shanks here, which is the Shanks and Mihawk. I try to remember the name. Now the reason they're here is they go in tandem with this Uta right here, and they will be able to remove the attack down that you get inflicted with after you stall the turn on stage 2. Because Uta, the 5+ Uta gets rid of it by 4 turns with double special activation, and they get rid of it by another 2 turns, so that's 6 turns in total. And the other reason that Shanks and Mihawk here, this is the Clash Shanks and Mihawk 2. The reason they're here is because Uta's super class special will not activate if you don't have a certain character on the crew. Unlike the other variations of Uta, this Uta will need a character to activate the super class special, which kind of sucks. But I mean, as you can see, it's really easy to fulfill here. So that's really the main reason why the Shanks and Mihawk are here. Now, the Zoro Juro and the Sangoro unit here, this is the KIZUNA Clash one. They are here to provide a chain boundary. That's literally all they're here for. And the Danchin Jiao is actually here to remove the special bind. Now, since we're going to use him first, we actually get his chain boost instead of Uta's, which kind of sucks. But I mean, it's not really the end of the world. So this, I think what he provides is like a +0.7 chain boost, which is not that bad. So all this together, we should be able to be doing a lot of damage to the boss here, and should be able to get around all the gimmicks here. Now for the pay to win side, as you can see, we're actually using the same similar setup where we have Uta and Sugar here being able to provide us with the various boosts they give. And we also have like replacements for all those other 4 units here. Now we have the KIZUNA Clash of Flamingo because he's just really good under Sugar. He's able to provide us with the base attack boost and is able to reduce the attack down we get inflicted with by 5 turns. We're going with the same strat as the other team. We're going to install the 1 turn and just deal with the effects of the after turn 1 thing. Now, we have the Black Maria and the Beppo here. Now, either one of these units can be used to get rid of the special bind here. But the reason they're both on here is because of the fact that Beppo provides a chain boost and the Black Maria provides a color affinity boost. Now, obviously, you can use units like the support of the Quick Ace to give it your quick characters a color affinity boost, or you can use, I think they're all cerebral characters, so you can use what's his name? There's a Chopper unit that actually does provide a color affinity boost for quick and cerebral characters, but I can't remember what Chopper it is. I think it's a support Chopper. They can provide the color affinity boost for you too, which is really good. So those are some options there for color fading boosting. If you want to replace the Black Maria, obviously there's a lot of chain boosting support abilities out there. You don't really need any of them because we also do have the ability of Ben Beckman here to give us a chain boundary effect, along with what's her name, Sugar, giving us a chain boost for the Toy Bears. So that's what all these units are here for. We have Black Maria for color fading boosting. We have the Beppo for the chain boosting and special bind. Either one of those characters for special bind. Ben Beckman's here for the chain boundary effect, and the Dofi is for the attack down and base attack boost effect. Also, the Black Maria is here to get rid of the defense up to for 5 turns. So that's also why she hears it. I almost slipped my mind, honestly. And then, you know, Uta and Sugar doing their thing. So this team should also be doing just about as much damage, if not more, than the free-to-play team here. And now for the final variation, being the INT variation, and also probably, in my opinion, the most difficult and or most frustrating variation for this KIZUNA clash, and you'll see why in a minute. Now, for this variation, Striker, Free Spirit, and Driven characters are getting the cooldown, and as you'll see, Stage 2, you have to deal with this really weird orb changing mechanic where the top right, middle left, and bottom right units are going to get their type and recovery slots switched to rainbow, and the slot change is going to happen to the top left, middle right, and bottom left for the type and recovery slots to get block slots. Now, obviously, if you have tandem slots, it doesn't matter to them, but most of the time, you're not really going to get tandem slots. I mean, obviously, it's like the same kind of rate as the other slots, but you know what I mean. You're most of the time going to be getting type and recovery slots, so they're going to be definitely changing the rainbow and block slots. Now, it's kind of weird they changed the rainbow slots, which I feel like they could probably have just changed them in like unfavorable slots or something like that. But it's whatever. I'm not going to complain about rainbow slots, but the block slots are going to be a bit of a problem. We also got to deal with 6 turns of damage reduction, which is also like, I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to give us 6 turns damage reduction. Now, after turn 1, you do not want to stall because, as you can see, attack down, special reverse, and your specials get locked, and that's something we don't want to deal with at all. So we're not going to stall at all for this stage. Now, when we get to the boss stage, the immunity is the same as the other ones, everything except for defense down. Now, we also have to deal with unfavorable INT slots for 9 turns, and then our slots get changed into INT slots. If you do change your slots, they get all changed back into INT slots, which is really annoying. Now, we also have to deal with special bind for 5 turns and defense up for 5 turns, which is also really annoying too. And then when you get to the boss level, the boss changing their behavior, we have to deal with another 4 turns of damage reduction, which is just insane. Special reverse for 1 turn, lock specials, and lock slots for until you hit a good hit, which is really annoying because that means you got to keep unfavorable INT slots for that boss fight. So obviously what we have to do is come into the fight with slots that can't be changed, or we have to have a beneficial orb enabled active so that the enemy does not inflict us with the debuff. So the way we're going to get around all these gimmicks here for this free-to-play team, which did take me so many tries to get right, it's just that every other free-to-play team I've made was not working out the way I wanted them to work. So this is the team I came up with. We have the 6+ Yamato. The reason that Yamato is here is because they're able to provide us Wano slots through block orbs. That's going to be really important because, as you can see, top left, which is Yamato, middle right, which is Brook, and bottom left being the Chopper unit, all being side, they're all going to get block slots, meaning that Yamato can change them into Wano slots. And then you can use Brook special, which is going to be also really important too, to remove the damage reduction by 6 turns. And then Brook himself also provides an attack and orb boost too. So you can just use his special and Yamato special to hopefully get past stage 2. But we're also going to have the support of the Jinbei on Brook because Brook is free spirit and everyone else on here is also free spirit. So when you use Brook special, all of our slots get locked. So we actually get to keep Rainbow and Wano slots for the final stage, which is just really good because we can get around the orb changing mechanic. Now, for the other mechanics we got to get around, we do have the Nami Sanji. Yeah, I had to quickly cut the recording because I realized that Luffy does not work here. I totally forgot. As I was talking about Nami Sanji, I totally forgot that defense up was a thing. Once again, even though I just said it in the breakdown, I forgot what I was team building. Defense up and damage reduction happens at the same time. So we have to actually use the Kuja Pirates because they will get rid of both of those effects, which is actually really good because they also can replace the Luffy with the attack boost because they get the same attack boost as Luffy does to free spirit characters. Now, with what I was saying earlier was about Nami Sanji, they get rid of the special reverse for us because their captain ability does that for the team. And the Kuja Pirates, like I said, get rid of the defense up in their introduction and give us the attack boost here. The Chopper is going to get rid of the special bind and also give us a resistance down for side characters to the enemy or whatever. And then the Wiper is to give us the color fury boost. And that's really like the Nami Sanji gives the orb boost. So we have orb boost, Wano slots, and we have the chain multiplicative boost from the Yamato. So that's pretty good. And super typing for side characters, which is also really good. We have the attack boost from the Kuja Pirates. I don't think we'll actually get the what's it called, the conditional boost at all because we're not above 50,000 HP. So we're not going to worry about that. We have the color affinity of Wiper in the resistance, especially by reducing special of the Chopper. So this team should work. I have very little doubt that this team will work. So I really do hope it works. I don't want to have to go back and change something else because this variation has tired me out, and you can even tell my voice. I'm actually very frustrated that I had to do that in the middle of the recording. I was like realizing that this team would not work if I didn't replace Luffy at all. So gladly enough, I hope that glad enough that the Kuja Pirates is a really good replacement for that Luffy. Now I know this team looks a little more pay to win than it should. That's because you can see we have 5 legends on here, 4 of which being Super Sukafest exclusive characters, which just kind of suck. I think a quick replacement would be like the Roger with some other attack booster, but that's really the only replacement I see here. Now for the 2 Namis, the reason we have 2 Namis here is because we are able to remove damage reduction with both of their specials on their respective stages, so stage 2 and stage 3, and we also get their various boosts on each stage. Now we have the Yamato here again to get rid of the block slots and give us Wano slots with the Trijimap Jinbei support on Yamato to lock those slots. And we also have the Robin, who's able to reduce the special bind by 5 turns and give us a color fading boost for free spirit characters, which is really good. We have the Kinemon Dendro being able to reduce defense up by 5 turns or 6 turns, and also give us an orb boost for our free spirit characters and a slight base attack boost. And then the Roger's here to give us an attack boost. That's literally all he's there for. Now special reverse, we do have special reverse. I think the Robin also gets rid of that too, if I am not mistaken. I had to check really fast while I'm recording, and she does. Okay, she does. She will be able to reduce the special reverse too. I forgot that's why she's on the crew. I thought I was about to say Nami, but Nami doesn't do that on her own. She has to have paralysis as a captain to reduce her own special, all that jazz too. But the Robin is also there for the special bind and the special cooldown reduction. So this team right here should be doing a lot of damage, just due to the fact we have so many legends on this crew. Now, like I said, I will be trying to make another video where I go over more accessible teams for people out there that want to have a little more variety of teams that you can build. So hopefully that video turns out well and not like this one where I have to record so many times, mostly because I am just getting over a cold, and 2, because the INT variation is the worst variation I've seen for KIZUNA Clash so far. So that's really it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I will see you guys in the next video.